Hello friends, welcome to JavaEE JPA tutorial. Now you are watching part 5 of the video JPP entity create, read, update, delete operation. In this video we are going to look at the JSP response. So there are 4 servlet, actually 3 servlet. Those servlet will forward the request response to JSP to perform the presentation, or simply to respond back to the browser. So let's quickly walk through the previous parts. So these are all the prerequisites. First we learned about the entity states. Next we learned about the create sequence, read sequence, update and delete. Then we also learned about the transaction and how the transaction will be committed by the entity manager, which is attached to the stateless session bean. So we call the bean methods as a business method, and we saw towards the end the entity manager will perform the commit, transaction commit. Then we created a remote interface and we declared 3 functions. Then we provided dummy implementation. After that we created some of the HTML form to interact with those 3 declared function as well as the create account. Next we created the servlets. Those servlets will process the HTML forms, and the servlet will make use of our saving account bean, which contains a dummy implementation at this moment. And if you see, in each of these cases we perform the request forward, right, to the saving account response. So here we are setting the attributes action as well as attribute that is relevant to the action. So in this video we are going to develop this saving account response JSP. So all our servlet, if you see, after the processing, it will delegate the request response processing to this JSP, and before that it sets action as well as relevant attribute. So here, since action is close, we are setting the relevant attribute of a close value. This will be a boolean true or false. In the previous case, when we do deposit and withdraw, the action will be withdraw or deposit. Then we set a new attribute of new balance. So now we will deal with the JSP file. So our servlet sets the request attribute using the set attribute. Here if you see, we are making call to get attribute. The first step what we are retrieving is action. We know that there are 4 servlet, 3 servlet, and the second servlet account transaction will set 2 kind of action. One is deposit and another one is withdraw, and third one is close. So this is new, update in the sense withdraw as well as a deposit. and this is for delete, closing the account. So the action will tell us which servlet is forwarding the or delegating the responsibility to the our JSP file. So here we are checking this action. Once action is retrieved, we are checking if action is add. So if it is add, we will be getting the PID, right? New PID. So that's the response we will send back. So this is the static text account created with the h3 tag. Then we are using request.get attribute new account ID. So this attribute is valid only when the action is add. So that's why first we check the action, then we make use of the next request context attribute new account ID. And the code run repeatedly the same way. If you see here action, so action first we retrieved, that action only we are using everywhere. So here we will check that action, here also we will check that action. So if it is deposit, then we put a static message stating that your deposit amount is credited, and we will use the new balance. After this, for withdraw, the code runs the same way. Your money is withdrawn, then we will tell what is the new balance. Finally, we go for the close account. Once again we check the action here. So if it is close action, we will retrieve the Boolean value, close value, and we are having that in a string. This will usually have either true or false. So here return value we are checking because the Boolean is converted into string, so we are checking it true. So if it is true, we say that account is removed. Otherwise we say account is not found. So account not found, that's the response. So the method will return false, and we are setting that to the attribute close value. So here in the JSP file checks that request attribute and responds back accordingly. So if the bean method returned true, then here we will be getting true and we say account removed, otherwise we say account not found. So that's all here in this JSP. Now it's demo time. We will go ahead and develop this JSP file. And at this moment we cannot demo it. Why? Because demo in the sense we cannot run the application because the bean methods are returning -1, and false. So that means we have dummy implementation, right? So we cannot run the application, but still we can go ahead and develop the JSP page. So these are all the servlet we created previously. Let me go to close account servlet. I'll copy this JSP file. We will crash verify, save AC response. The name should be important, it should be case sensitive. Save SP response. Here also it is a save AC response. Alright, now it's time to create our JSP file. So this is our dynamic web application project, right? So this is where we have to create our HTML servlet as well as the JSP. All those stuff goes here. This time we are creating a JSP file, new JSP file. We already copied the JSP file to the clipboard, so I'm placing it here. Click next. So here we are choosing new JSP file, JSP with a markup. I'm clicking finish here. Since the code is already explained, here I am simply pasting the code. You can do the same from the video description, or you can type the code. if you like intelligence, all those stuff, you can type the code. All right. Control-Shift-F actually. Okay. So these are all already explained. If you see, first we are getting the action, and then we are using that action everywhere. So action.compare ignore case, action.compare ignore case, likewise we are comparing it. Now so this is already published, and now we will start the server. If it doesn't work, then we have to remove and re-add it. All right, we have done with the demo. So in the next video, or in the final part, we will go ahead and implement our bean client, and we will also learn the entity states. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove the EAR RQ. So here we see undeployed. Now it's time to stop the server. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.